Love, Chunibyo, and Other Delusions Retold. Episode 7, Summer Breakdown, Act 1. It was a bright and sunny day in Otsushiga. Summer vacation was finally here. Yuuta, Nibutani, and Isshiki were waiting at Ishiyama Station. "Sure is hot, huh?" asked Nibutani. "Sure is," replied Isshiki. He was wearing a cap. "Good morning," said Kumin. She emerged out of the gift shop wearing a white sundress and a tan sun hat. "Whoa!" exclaimed Isshiki. He waved and awkwardly said back, "Good morning to you too!" "What are you all spellbound for?" asked an unamused Nibutani to Isshiki. "Geez, I can't believe she's actually wearing that. She looks like a retro movie star." "Idiot," said Isshiki to Nibutani. "Unlike you, Kumin is a pure-hearted lady who's not influenced by the trends of today." Big talk from someone who looks like a middle schooler," said Nibutani, flicking Ishiki's cap off to reveal his head. It was starting to grow back, albeit. Isshiki covered his head and shouted, "Please don't call me a middle schooler!" "Isshiki, you look like a middle schooler, don't you?" said Kumin. Isshiki chuckled awkwardly while Nibutani snickered. Dekomori was also part of the group. "I, Dekomori, am under assault from gamma rays from the sun's evil glare," she said. And she pulled out some cool shades. "Time for my dark limited unknown shield. Engage! Ta-da!" Deko put on her shades. Nibutani was watching her. "Her delusions are regressing from Chunibyo to Shogakuseibyo," she commented. "Did you say something, fake Mori Summer?" asked Deko. "No, I didn't say anything at all," replied Nibutani. "Is that so? I thought I heard you comparing me to that middle school baldy over there." "Don't call me that!" exclaimed Isshiki. "Silence, middle schooler," replied Deko. Yuuta noticed that Rikka was awfully quiet. The reason why Yuuta, Rikka, Nibutani, Dekomori, Kumin, and Isshiki were all together was because Rikka invited the girls and Yuuta to come with her and spend summer vacation in Mihama, Fukui Prefecture, Rikka's hometown. Not to mention the other night, Toka invited Yuuta as he was needed. Soon the 6 students boarded a train to their vacation spot. Dekomori was motion sick. "That's why she's a great schooler," shrugged Nibutani. Shut up," groaned Deko, and she threw up on Nibutani's lap. She gagged in disgust. "Try focusing on something far away. You'll feel better," said Yuuta to Deko. "At a time like this, I can rely on some comforting words of the Mabinogian to soothe me," groaned Deko, and she pulled it out. She tried to read, but Deko threw up again. "It backfired!" exclaimed Yuuta. "Nibutani, the toilet's at the end of the train car." "Huh? Why are you telling me?" she asked. "People would think it was weird if a guy went in with Dekomori, right?" Nibutani sighed and escorted Deko to the restroom. "You fake! I won't accept help from you," groaned Deko. "It's not that far, so just hold it in," said Nibutani. "Being saved from death by one sworn mortal enemy. It's kind of cool, yes," groaned a slightly confident Deko. "Please be quiet," said Nibutani. "Isshiki, could you give me a hand?" But he was staring at Kumin napping in her seat. "No wonder she's called the Sleeping School Beauty," thought Isshiki. "What do you think you're looking at, Baldy?" asked Nibutani. "Could you help me?" "Yes, ma'am," replied a disappointed Isshiki, and he and Nibutani helped Dekomori to the restroom. Yuuta noticed that Rikka was still awfully quiet. "Hey," said Yuuta. "Rikka." She looked at him with an unhappy expression. "What is it?" asked Rikka. "Are you motion sick too?" asked Yuuta. "It's fine. I'm undergoing training," replied Rikka. "Then why are you so quiet?" asked Yuuta. But Rikka didn't answer. Kumin woke up from her nap and walked over to the two. It's strange, huh? Said a worried Kumin. Is something wrong with Rikka? Yuuta wasn't sure, and I kind of wasn't either. But I already have a bad feeling about what's about to happen soon. At last, the 6 students got off the train and waited for Toka to pick them up. It sure was quiet, since the train station was in the fields. Kumin was looking after Dekomori. She was still motion sick. There, Dekomori. It'll be okay, said Kumin. The world won't stop spinning. Mjolnir tornado, groaned Deko. I told you to sit quietly, didn't I? Asked Nibutani. Geez, why am I the one who has to clean up after all of you? That's the class president for you. You're always looking out for others, said Isshiki. It's not like I had a choice, shouted Nibutani as she slapped him with a ringed-out shirt. This is all because you started throwing up too, Isshiki. Anyway, Yuuta, is Rikka sick too? Asked Nibutani. Rikka's the one who invited us, right? Asked Isshiki. In class, she said she was going back to her hometown and asked us to come. Yeah, and then you decided to invite yourself along too, added Yuuta. Is there some special reason she came back? Asked Nibutani. Special reason? Asked Isshiki. It's pretty common, right? Said a pleasant Nibutani. Like a guy she dated in middle school goes to the high school here and now they have a long-distance relationship. The distance is a barrier? Exclaimed Isshiki. Barrier is a powerful shielding technique, groaned Dekomori. Just sit there and be quiet, shouted Nibutani. Rikka with a boyfriend, huh? Asked Yuuta. Just then, Toka showed up in a blue van. Is that Rikka's older sister you told me about the other day, Yuuta? Asked Isshiki. Sure is, replied Yuuta. Toka had a stern look on her face as usual. When she approached Rikka, she drew out her Schwartz ZX prototype Mark II. Nibutani and Isshiki were surprised. Yuuta was already used to the 2 sisters' relationship. What's that about? Asked Nibutani. Rikka and Toka get along very well, replied Kumin. The 6 students boarded Toka's van and she drove them to the house of Takanashi's. Wow, what a big house, said Kumin. Geez, Rikka, have you been holding out on us? Asked Isshiki. It was quiet and there were crickets chirping. Rikka's grandparents were at the doorstep. Thank you for traveling so far to visit us, said Grandmother Takanashi happily. Not at all, replied a pleasant Nibutani. We're the ones who should be thanking you for allowing us to spend our summer vacation in your lovely home. I hope it's not too much of an inconvenience. Not at all, replied Grandmother Takanashi. Rikka, are you playing pirate again? That's what's popular nowadays, right? Rikka was still unhappy. I thought she would have grown up a little by now, said a disappointed Grandfather Takanashi. Now, dear, said Grandmother Takanashi. Grandmother, said Rikka, give everyone some of the dark brown liquid. And she ran inside her house. Yuuta and Grandmother Takanashi were surprised. A short while later, Yuuta, Nibutani, Kumin, Dekomori, Isshiki, and Grandmother Takanashi were all in the kitchen at a table. Dekomori finally recovered from her motion sickness. Nibutani gave Grandmother Takanashi a gift. It's nothing special, just a small token of our thanks, said Nibutani. Oh my, how thoughtful. Thank you so much. Our house is your house, said Grandmother Takanashi. Thank you very much, replied Nibutani. And Grandmother Takanashi walked away with the gift. Isshiki leaned over to Nibutani and said disappointedly, You're, how do I put this? Kinda grandmotherly. Shut up, replied Nibutani. Suddenly, a big dog showed up and licked Nibutani on her cheek. She was uncomfortable. What a cute puppy, said Kumin. Is this the legendary hound of hell? Exclaimed Dekomori. What's with this dog? Exclaimed Nibutani. Yuuta had an unamused look on his face. He then saw Toka, who gestured to him to meet with Rikka. Yuuta went upstairs to meet Rikka. He knocked on the door. "Enter," said Rikka, and Yuuta opened the door to find her at her desk. "You didn't really bring that much luggage with you," said Yuuta. "What's that thing?" Rikka was toying with a radio with knobs and listening with one headphone. "It transmits beyond the invisible boundary lines," replied Rikka. "Where did you even find one of those?" asked Yuuta. "I'm surprised they still make them." "I found it 1 year ago. I attempted to bring it to my current base, but the priestess thwarted my plans." "I don't blame her," said Yuuta. "What's with you?" "What do you mean?" "Well, to put it in your terms," Yuuta said in his dark flame master voice, "you seem to be highly guarded in this base. What for?" "Even though I lived here, this was never really my base. Rather, it is enemy territory in the Bureau's headquarters. I was brought here, against my will, 2 years ago," said Rikka. "2 years ago?" asked Yuuta in his normal voice. "The house seems nondescript at first, but there's a barrier here that renders the invisible boundary lines ineffective. The psychological burdens and assaults are more intense. Thus, I made a tactical retreat," said Rikka. Yuuta didn't get it, but he knew something must have happened. "I needed its power to break the barrier," continued Rikka. "The power of the Eye of the Wicked Lord." Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. "You in there?" It was Toka. Rikka was silent. "Yeah," replied Yuuta. "You're going this year, aren't you?" asked Toka. But Rikka didn't answer. "I'll leave your bags here. Also, it looks like your companions are going to the beach. Try not to make your friends worry too much." Soon the 6 students were at the beach. "Oh!" exclaimed Kumin. "Mori Summer, your bikini's so cute and trendy." Nibutani wore a tan coat over her magenta swimsuit. For once, she didn't mind being called Mori Summer. "Thanks, but what the heck is up with you?" she asked. Kumin wore a white swimsuit similar to her sundress, and she wore her sun hat. "Look at that old-timey swimsuit," commented Nibutani. "Well, this is the only one I had. Is it all right?" asked Kumin. "It's perfect!" exclaimed Isshiki. He was wearing some red swim trunks. "Oh, thank you," said Kumin. Nibutani was uncomfortable. Even Yuuta agreed that Kumin did look good in her white swimsuit. Suddenly, Rikka and Dekomori showed up with big water guns. Deko wore a yellow bikini with red accents, while Rikka wore a black one with lavender accents. And Deko had a sun tattoo in the shape of a summoning circle on her stomach. "The legendary sea monster! The Kraken lurks within these waters!" exclaimed Dekomori. "Now's the time for us to test the power of these water-resistant magic garments! Feast your eyes on this!" And Deko ran out past the 4 students to the sea. Rikka said to Yuuta, "With these magical garments, one can be 3.88 times faster in any body of water." Unfortunately, Dekomori couldn't make it to the water as she was affected by the hot sand below her feet. She sprinted back to the group. 3.88 times faster," said Rikka. "What's wrong, you little brat? Don't want to find your sea monster?" asked Nibutani, teasing Dekomori. "I'll remember this," she replied, and she sprinted back to the water pretty fast. "She really is faster," said Yuuta. "Hey, we should all go swimming too. How about it?" asked Isshiki, but he noticed that Kumin was already asleep. Isshiki was in complete disbelief. "Bazinga," uttered Kumin in her sleep. "You really don't know her that well, do you?" said Nibutani. Suddenly, a big dog showed up and was attracted to Nibutani. It was the same dog from earlier. "Take her out, Cerberus!" shouted Dekomori. Nibutani ran as Cerberus chased after her. "Yuuta," said Rikka. She placed something in Yuta's hand and ran off. He was surprised. In Yuta's hand was a note that read, "Come to point C3," and had a doodle of their location. Yuuta went to point C3 to find Rikka and a bike. "Yuuta, let's hurry," she said. The bike had a sign that said, "On patrol." "Where'd you get that bike?" asked Yuuta. "The Runrad Zwei Helblau," replied Rikka. "I don't care about the name," said Yuuta. "We will now head to where the invisible boundary lines converge. Get on," said Rikka. "We're in our swimsuits," said Yuuta. "To avoid making the priestess hot on our trail, this degree of camouflage is necessary," said Rikka. She looked over to the side of herself. Yuuta looked too, and there was Toka looking disappointed. "I knew it," she said, and Rikka ran away. "So this is how it's gonna be." "Yuuta Tagashi," said Toka. "Yeah?" "Come with me." "Where to?" "To the place." The place of our father. The sunny weather began to have an overcast with a breeze. This field trip will only get better or worse from here on out.